but it's the least I can do for him. I want to start off with probably the things that I feel Ben would probably find most important, and that's thanking everyone that's here. If y'all weren't in his life, he would not have been around here as long as he was. Mom, Dad, Dakota, Seth, Mamaw, Papaw, Linda, Ella, and thank you, by the way, for putting up with me for the last few days. I've been off the deep end. But I figured I'd give a few words for everyone that was important to him. First few things will be for primarily the family that mattered probably the most to him and that, stuck through him with the hard stuff. Mom, you raised him to be responsible. He was the most educated person I know. He was kind. And even though he struggled a lot, he was still resilient. Like I had been telling everyone, he faced 1,000 problems while we only faced a handful, a dozen. And he was still able to get stuff done while struggling with all that. There's not going to be enough time in the world for me to say thank you. But you're one of the few reasons he stuck around. So thank you. Ella, you probably know you impacted him quite a lot. You had a lot of similar struggles that he went through. You're still here, so thank you. He knows you'll be okay. You're probably to blame for his humor. And I don't think you'd have it any other way.
And his dirty mouth.
No, you're guilty for that. But you were the person who probably helped him gauge how to be so bold, because I don't really know any time you weren't outright bolsterous and just, uncontrollable. You were probably the most loud person I knew beforehand. And I don't think anyone's gonna ever beat that.
Amen.
I'm a petite little flower.
Don't worry, I have a few things for everyone, so you're not the only one that's gonna get jabbed this time. Next up, Linda.
Of course.
I don't know how else to put up for anything, but you were probably the most loyal family member that I could ever know.
Thank you.
If you weren't around, Mom would have struggled. We all would have struggled. You went through a lot of stuff when you were younger, and I'm still glad you're here. Your kids, your husband's still glad you're here, so thank you. You're unafraid to do what you feel is right at all times. You always speak your mind, and you were speaking your mind a lot the last few days.
You were good at that as a kid.
I don't think I can thank you enough for the fact that, you were trying to work with me to get Mom to eat anything because she refused to eat for the first 24 hours.
Yeah.
And what got her to eat was I had ended up in the ER because I had thought I was having a heart attack or something. Turns out I had broken heart syndrome. Dramatic as hell, I know. I apologize for my language, but we had to get Mom something to eat, and Ella wasn't there. Linda wasn't though. She stayed there with us the entire time while I was getting irate, blood pressure rising because I had a catheter in my arm. And she walked off, and she came back not with just a small bit of food, but literally the entire vending machine and cafeteria. Finally convinced her to eat something, the pudding, and then we had to ridicule how bad the fries were.
Yeah.
I heard that crunch. It didn't sound good. But thank you for being here these last few days. You really have helped. I know that Mamaw's not here today, so Papaw James, you can pass this along to her. You were probably the person that Ben got his kindness from. You were infinitely sweet. I've never known you once to raise your voice. You took care of Dad. You feed him constantly. Ben never had any issues or problems with you. You were always the nicest person in the world to him. And I don't think he would have been as nice as he is today if you didn't, teach him all this. So thank you for that. Is Papaw James still here?
No.
Yeah, step away. and I'll ask you that you pass this to him, Dad. As much as I want to blame Ella for Ben's humor, Papa was probably partly to blame for that too, because he's uncontrollable. He was always physical, he was always pushy, but he wasn't in a bad way. He always tried to make sure that everyone was having a good time. And although sometimes it felt like he would go over the line, I couldn't hold it against him. I had to forgive him. He was the nicest person I knew next to my mom. So thank you for having me in your life, and thank you for being me. Mom's dad, Donnie, I probably feel you impacted him more than you probably knew. You were the one person that he always looked to as responsible, and you would do anything without complaining. You just do it. You knew it had to be done. You were trustworthy, you were honest. You didn't talk a lot, you still don't talk a lot, but you were the one person we could go to that if we needed something done, it would get done. I don't imagine you're ever going to change. You're going to always do that, and I appreciate it. Thank you for helping Ben out so much. He was always trying to figure out this automotive stuff, but you helped him out the most with that. Car still doesn't work, by the way. I'll figure out how to get it fixed, I promise. But he could never. There was no one in comparison that could ever be to say that you were the one person that never slowed down, and because of that, he never slowed down. He got that from you. So, thank you for being in his life. Thank you for being here today. And if you have anything, just let me know where we live. We're right down the house. Jimmy, you are one of the reasons that Ben was around for so long. A lot of y'all don't know Jimmy. She was me, Mom, and Ben's therapist when we were having hard times when I got back from the Army and when Ben was struggling most with his medication. Jimmy got Mom better. She helped me tremendously. And if it wasn't for her, I don't think I'd be up here saying these things, because I'd be a mess. But you probably helped Ben during his darkest times. And you were willing to listen to him. And he was willing to listen to you. He'd still be listening today if he could, but you helped him get through the stuff that was in his head for the longest time. And I'm never going to be able to say thank you enough for that. I'll be doing it probably every day for the rest of my life. You taught me how to address and deal with the stuff that I've been fighting constantly. And if there's any person I owe at this point to get better and to, finally find some success in life, it's probably Ben. But I wanted to thank you and tell you that, although you are not legally family, you're as close to family as I could ever say, and I thank you for being here. If you ever need anything, please contact me, Mom. You know our numbers, you know pretty much everything about us. We've spilled every little bit of our guts. So please stick around.
No worries.
Ben's got a lot of friends, and I could not list all of them. But Seth and Dakota here today. I don't know if there's anyone else here that's a friend of Ben's from school.
There have been.
There have been, they popped up. Okay. I've already been talking to y'all a lot outside when I was with my dad, and y'all popped up. And I still stick by my word for everything I said. He would not have been the person he was without y'all. He was weird. You heard his music. It's a testament to him. He was still the kindest person I knew, and I knew he'd fight anyone if he'd mess with any of y'all. He would have won. So, y'all, I know I saw. I was there that day. But y'all made his days a lot brighter, and if y'all weren't around, he wouldn't have stuck around probably through high school. So, thank y'all for doing everything you did. Thank you for being his friend. Thank y'all for showing up here today. I really appreciate it. As I've said, you all know my number now. You know where we live. We've not moved any. So if you ever need to see us, come see us. But I would like to ask, Ben listened to Biz Markie. We all know that music. But his other song that he typically would scream at the top of his lungs was Total Eclipse of the Heart, Bonnie Tyler. And if he wasn't doing that, he was typically being loud and dramatic and singing What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong at the deepest voice possible he could muster, scrunching his face up and everything. And I'm pretty sure he brought 2 of his teachers to tears doing so at some point. He could still do so to those teachers. And then the weird time, like I had told them already, when I found y'all at Madison Central when I was a senior, and I was coming down the main staircase and I found y'all just chain gang dancing at the staircase, just singing the song you heard playing a moment ago, thinking y'all had lost your minds. Teachers coming in, looking every which way, students passing by and almost crying, laughing, but it was weird. But I appreciate y'all for doing that with him, because I don't think he would have goofed off as much unless y'all were in his lives. So thank you for that. I don't think I need to express to Mom or Dakota or Seth the fact that Ben could recite Childish Gambino off the back of his head, lyric for lyric, without struggle. He had more mental capacity than most of us. But y'all made him smile, and that makes me feel a lot better and makes this easier to do today, so thank y'all. Dad, I know that although at times our relationships were strained, it still has some strain today. But I am going to get through it, because after all of this, you did what was right and you helped them. Thank you for being here. Thank you for talking with me and, listening to the hard stuff that me and Mom had to see. And I know how difficult it is to be a house separated away, trying to get your life started up and just move forward again. Man, you deserve happiness. Everyone does. Doesn't matter who you are. Second chances are something that everyone deserves. And even if I'm going to be a little bit distant and quiet for a bit, you can always reach me. You know my number. You know where I live. I wanted to be at least a big enough man to say that you deserve the credit I'm going to give you today, and that is that you, when times mattered most, you did what you needed to do, even though it was hard. So thank you. Not much more I want to say, but I want to take up all the time. But thank you all again for being here. I can't express it enough. I wish I was more of a wordsmith than what I am, but Ben took all those genes away from me, so I ain't got anything. But Ben was my little brother. I love him. I always will. And it's gonna be hard with him not being here. I was in the process of getting my life moving forward, and I was like, I'll make it to 30. I'll make it to 30 before something happens. I was close, but we will be okay. It is going to be hard at times. But the fact of the matter that I've seen that you've affected so many people, that you've somehow saved lives in Peru of all places, I know that it's not going to be hard to, at least now that you finally get to rest, that I will probably be able to catch up and at least match what you did in the world. But like I said, there's going to be days where it's going to be hard. I'm going to be quiet. I might be distant. I may be asleep for days on end. I'm probably going to go to sleep and go home tonight and sleep for 24 hours straight. We've not gotten any sleep. But we will be okay. If anyone ever worries, you can always contact us. Reach out, visit if you want to. There's no promises we won't be bawling the 24/7 you see us, but we will manage. And I would want to say that to everyone that knew Ben. If you ever wanted to ask something about him, if you ever wanted to know anything, please come talk to me. I know I didn't know every single thing about him, but for the stuff that I did know about him, I'd be happy to share. If you need my number, email, anything, just after we get done with this, feel free to come approach me. I'll give you all my information. I'll even write you a note with chicken scratch on it, because I've got horrible handwriting, but you'll get the point. but don't hesitate to reach out. Because I know Ben would want to say that there's a lot of stigma behind mental health in the U.S. And he would not let me rest if I didn't say that if you struggle, you need to talk to someone. I had Jimmy. Jimmy had all of us for the period of time when we were going through the worst. And we were lucky to come across Jimmy. So Jimmy, again, thank you for all that. I don't think we'd be here today without you. But if you struggle, if I can help, come talk with me. If I'm not enough, if you're a parent, talk with your kids. If you're a kid, talk with your parents. If that ain't enough, find a therapist. It's not hard.
988.
Yep. I knows it. If you ever wish to leave anything for Ben, whether it be mementos, tokens of appreciation, he's got rocks of all things in his coffin, thanks to Jimmy, because that'll keep the spirits away. I know that for a fact.
He also has $1 and a quarter in his pocket.
He officially has more money than me because I am down to negative 69 cents. But if you ever wish to leave anything, if it's a memory, if it's a letter, a note, a picture you shared, a game, I don't care what it is. If you want to share it, just contact me. He can't decline them anymore, so I'll take them. And I'll put them in my room or his room. And I know he would be okay with accepting them. And I know that me and my mom are not the ones that'll typically openly accept help. We're really resistant to accepting that people are here for us, and I didn't expect your VA friends to be here. That's just a testament to the fact that people care enough. I will not decline any assistance, be it emotional, anything. Just thank y'all for being here today. I'm working on teaching myself that I can rely on other people. There's no weakness in relying on other people, be it friends, family, parents, siblings, anything. And I will be thanking every one of you every night for the next however long I'm around for the fact that y'all impacted his life so much. So I cannot thank you enough for being here today. And that's pretty much all I have to say. So thank you.